Good day. This is Dr. Jana Price-Sharps with Mind Pilot. Today we're going to talk about being angry. Gosh, there's so many things to be angry about, isn't there? There is the significant other that said something that irritated you. There is the person driving 30 miles an hour in a 55 mile an hour zone. There is the person that slammed on their brakes and there was nothing in front of them. There was the coworker that was supposed to do 5 or 6 things and they haven't done any of them and they're all due tomorrow and your name is attached. There are so many things in our life that we can be angry about. There can be people, there can be politics, there can be things that are happening in our communities, and everywhere we look, every push notification we get, gosh, angry, angry, angry. Now, what does that do to us? Well, if you've been listening to this podcast for a bit, you know what it does to you. Every time we get angry, we release a little more adrenaline and a little more cortisol, and that makes us even more irritable because then our brain is looking around for the problem. The problem is if there isn't a problem, we will make a problem. So things that don't usually bother us somehow, some way now really make us ripping mad. So when that happens, then we're mad about that, then we're mad about something else, then we're mad about something else, and pretty soon we're seeing red. Now, what can you do about that? Well, there are a lot of things you can do about that, and some of them we've talked about on this podcast. Not all of them will work all the time. That's the first thing to understand when you're doing this process of helping yourself feel better, is that the tools that we talk about help sometimes. And if they're not helping today, then choose something else. Do something different. Mix it up a little bit. But the one thing you have to do is you have to take an early action. You don't wait until you're ripping mad to start to take action, because it's much more difficult to get your system cooled down when you're really hot, right? When you're mad at everyone and anybody says anything to you, now you're mad at them too. You need to do it way before that time. And we talked a little bit about finding that place in your body that reacts first. And that's different for everybody. I've had folks that their thighs starting to tighten up. I've had other people that their throat started to tighten up. My jaw starts to tighten up. Sometimes people's shoulders start to tighten up, or their back, or their lower back, or their stomach. It can affect people in a myriad of different ways. But you begin to get that early warning system in place. As soon as you feel yourself start to tighten up, if you're in a situation where you're not in danger, if you're a first responder, you're not on a call, you're off duty in, Home Depot, and suddenly you feel that part of your body tighten up, what are you going to do? Let's make a plan. So part of that plan might be distraction. Distraction's a good thing. It's not always possible for people, but if you can distract, then do that. Now, what does that look like? Well, you might be in the, air conditioning aisle. Maybe you need to go look at the paint aisle and go, we were thinking about repainting our bedroom. I wonder what color paints they have over in the paint aisle. Get to a different place. Move locations. Move your brain focus. Pick out 3 different things that have blue in them. Figure out a way to get your mind focused on something else so that your body can begin to cool down. Because once the anger starts, it tends to build off of each other, especially with first responders, because your body is used to having high levels of adrenaline and cortisol. So what can you do to cool yourself down? you might want to call somebody. Do not call the person that's perpetually angry because they're going to make you angrier. It does not do any good to call your best friend who is mad at the department, who's going to go on a tirade about the department, and then that's going to get you even madder, and now you're joining in, and now both of you are really, really angry. And then you go home, and guess what? Your family gets it. Right? Because they've done something wrong. They left something sitting out. They ate all of the potato chips. They left a toy on the floor, and then the anger comes out at them. So there really is a number of reasons you want to cool your system down. The problem is if you're used to having high levels of adrenaline, your brain likes the adrenaline and the cortisol, and it will seek to get you to do things to pull that in. So everything's too calm, let's start a fight with the wife. Everything's going well, let's get in a fight with my sergeant. Everything's going well, let's get angry at the bad driver. The brain will seek that out. So you have to be aware of that when you're used to high levels of adrenaline and you're starting to calm down. Be aware that your mind might try and pull that in. Also, you have to give yourself permission to feel good. That may seem a little weird, but it's been my experience. Most first responders have never given themselves permission to feel okay, or to feel good, or to be happy. They worry about everybody else because that's your job. You're focused on everybody outside of you. And so coming inside and going, what do I need to do about this is very foreign for many of you. So I would encourage you to do that. What is making you angry? How often do you get angry? And then what have you done in the past to cool yourself down? And what can you do in the future? Because the constant adrenaline and cortisol has all kinds of effects on your body. It causes ongoing inflammation, which we've talked about before. It can cause acid reflux. It can cause irritable bowel. It can cause sleep apnea. It can cause changes in your heart, high blood pressure. So many people I know have high blood pressure, then they transition out of the job and suddenly they don't even need blood pressure medicine. Why? Because you don't have that inflammation that's coming from the adrenaline and cortisol. So there is a reason to keep your system moving cool. There is a reason to refocus your mind. But you know what, folks? It's really easier to be mad. It really is. Mad about this, mad about that, mad about the politics, mad about the department, mad about your best friend, mad about what your spouse has done today. It's easier, but not in the long run, because it really affects your whole body. And it also affects your mood, because every time you get really, really adrenalized and you come back down, there's a crash. And that crash often feels like depression. So stable across time, right? Keep things from bothering you. And the way you do that is distraction, what you're telling yourself about the situation. So the reframing, the grounding, look at your watch and take yourself back to this moment. Okay. What do I mean by self-talk? Are you telling yourself, this stupid person, this person, I'm so mad at them, blah, 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 blah. Or are you going, you know what, I'll get there when I get there, right? Which are you doing? Are you winding yourself up? Are you cooling yourself down? You're going to feel better and you're going to have a better life if you take the second to cool yourself down. But it's a choice. May seem like it isn't a choice, but it really is a choice. You get to be in charge of where your brain is focusing. Choose wisely. Be part of the solution and not the problem. You get to feel good. You get to have a happy life. Take care of you. And we'll see you next time on Mind Pilot. This is Dr. Jana Price-Sharps.